All right, let's do it.
All right.
Go.
Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the War Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach Calvinator. Boys, it's not even Christmas yet.
I know, and welcome back. It's good to be here.
It feels like Christmas, though, because
It
we've
does.
got lots of little things to talk
We've got
about.
heaps to
Lots of
talk
news.
about.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's been nearly 3 months, I think,
It has.
since we've recorded.
Good to see you again,
Yeah,
boys.
good to see you, boys.
Maybe. Well, what have you been doing in your off-season? What have you been doing, Cow? You've been busy, I believe.
I've seen you, your
been popping
photo
up on
posted everywhere.
I'm a poster boy.
Social media?
Poster boy of fishing.
Seen it.
What did you do? For anyone that missed this on Twitter.
No one missed it, for the record. I caught a fish. Okay.
Finally.
This is the thing.
Finally, we've been talking
Shane
about this for
Watson
years.
challenge.
Okay. No, I did catch a fish.
You
So
caught a
here,
fish.
here in Tassie, they release 50 fish up in the Highlands. And they're worth $2,000 each.
Right.
Okay. I nailed one of the tagged trout.
Cannot
So your
believe
first
this.
fish in like the last 5 years that you've been...
I bagged out the day. I was catching fish left, right and centre.
Yeah,
But this
okay.
one had a special tag in it, and I did claim $2,000
$2,000.
$2,000 for my fishing adventure.
So did you see the tag straight away?
Yeah.
And did you know already 2K or?
So up there's a lot of tag trout. There's
Yeah.
blue and green tags that are in them, but this
Wow.
one was orange, and I was like, oh, that's very
This is
different.
new. This is new.
Aren't you glad to see it? And I looked at it, and it said winner, and I was like, hell yeah, finally. Wow. But the funny thing is, though, the fish was dropped in Bronte Lake, and it actually travelled through Brady, through Binney, and then ended up in Tugatina Lagoon, where
Cool story.
So
Wasn't it?
For those out there, it actually listen here. The fisheries were very bloody impressed with this,
What, that the fish had swam?
and it swam a long way.
Now, so $2,000 you won. Now, I'm going to ask you an honest question here.
Oh, don't.
What did you do with it? And
Okay.
I see your nice smile at the moment.
I gave half to me mate.
Yeah.
Right, because he was there on the day.
Is he the one that took the photo?
He took the photo.
It's a good photo.
It's a good photo. What do you mean? What did I do with it?
What did you do? What do you think you did with it?
Well, I saw the shit-eating grin he had in that photo with the fish, and it looks a bit different to this one.
It does.
Guy smiling.
Oh, I got my teeth whitened. What's wrong with that?
Oh, that's a good thing to do.
Did you go the pearl, the white, the off-white, the ivory, or the beige?
I went to beige.
Now, this is okay. I saw a set of fangs pop up on Instagram.
Yep.
Right? A before and after.
Yep.
And I screenshot. I sent to Dog. I've seen a lot of you-know-what dribble out of that mouth before. Do you
Yep.
recognise it? And he was like, no, it's not. And I was like, I think it's his mouth.
Yeah, it is. It was his, yes. Guilty as charged.
So you've done that.
Yeah.
Are you at a stage in your life where... just explain this to us.
I'm old, I'm grey, I'm fat. I need something, so I'm going with the pearly whites.
Oh, wow.
Getting set for our photo shoot
it looks
later
great.
on.
It looks great.
Thanks, Roy. Look, yeah, very proud of my teeth. Look, are we talking fantasy or what
Well,
here?
I don't know. I can't wait for your captain jokes this year. I reckon you'll have a few pearlers, mate.
We are here to
God.
talk some fantasy footy.
Right.
Although we might hear more about Calvin's thrilling off-season.
Oh, let's get back to where I caught the fish. Geez, that turned quickly, didn't it?
Well, your teeth are shining.
We do have some fantasy leaks. Yes.
Oh.
It's a squirt.
Hang
but
on.
it's still the same.
Sauces.
Sauce?
Well, it sort of is.
This is the time of year for sauces.
It is.
It is. And we'll get sources. Right.
I'll
okay.
wake him up.
Positions, thanks to Champion Data, was sent through for us last week, and there's a fair bit of interesting stuff out of it. So we'll start with some of the big names or the big news. So players that lost DPP. So defenders, Laird and Mills.
Yeah.
Well,
Old
first
Lairdy.
and third. Lairdy's been a stalwart
Hasn't he?
for us.
Yep.
Hasn't he?
And we've been waiting for Mills to be fantasy relevant, and then he becomes fantasy relevant.
Bang.
See ya.
Yep.
You're a midfielder only now. But we do gain a couple back there that are equally as good, possibly. Hall definitely is,
Yes.
considering what he did, and we'll talk about him a fair bit this pre-season. Z will too.
Yep.
Probably not as good as those other blokes, but they've both now straight defenders after that. So my mate Nick Heinroy
Yep.
is just a defender. So
Yep.
defenders probably fairly well unscathed, actually, with the changes as such from what we saw. But the forwards, there's a fair bit of mixing up going on.
It's a big shake-up there.
Isn't it
So, a massive shake-up. And I guess the notes that I took on this, when I looked through them, I went and looked at players by average to start with. So, players by average, Zorko, mid-only. Aaron Hall, now a defender. Josh Kelly, mid-only. Zeeble, defender. Sean Darcy had that ruck forward. So he was 5th on the list
It's amazing
on average
effort.
last
Yeah,
year.
wow.
So he's ruck only now. Isaac Smith's back to being a midfielder. Dunkley, so he's the highest one, the 7th player on the list from last year.
It's a huge shake-up. So many players are completely losing their fantasy relevance.
Yep.
But some are gaining it. Like, that's the thing.
Then Rowan Marshall is just straight ruck. But then, so side bottom and then wingard. So if there were no additions, wingard would be the 3rd best forward based on average from last year.
Yep. Definition of shake-up, dog.
Incredible. However, I guess it's good news, though, because we did actually get some other players with forward status to talk about.
Who?
Mitch Duncan.
That's massive.
Huge.
It's huge.
Because
He's a
Duncan-
triple figure guy.
Yeah.
And we used every year, we end up with Duncan and he burns you, but it's as a mid.
Yeah.
It matters in the midfield.
Yep.
It doesn't.
You can
in the
take it as a
line.
forward, 100%.
And then Timmy Taranto is
Massive.
another one as
That's
well.
huge.
That's
It is,
huge, all right.
especially if he is not being a forward. That's essentially
that's it,
what
isn't
we
it?
need him to
100%.
be. And what do you reckon? Will he be?
Well, who knows? Him
I
and
don't
Cogs
think so.
are such a mystery. Because remember last year we were offloading Taranto because he was a legit forward.
He got shunted,
Yeah.
didn't he? Well, I just think his footy was so good as a mid.
Yep.
Surely he is back to mid. That's what I'm tipping next year. He
Surely.
starts as a mid and
Has to.
stays a mid.
Put your best players where they
I think
need
so.
to be.
I think so.
So Cornelio Cow, as you mentioned just before, he
Yeah.
is a forward as well. Probably not as bullish around Cogs.
He
but
excites me though.
Doesn't
It's
it ever?
Cogs.
It's the name.
It's Cogs.
He's got 110 before.
Massive. Then think about what he looked like last year.
Oh, God.
But nah, he's got. If he has a full preseason, he picks himself.
He would have
surely.
been one of the guys that came back to training early.
100%. I hope so.
Well, he was probably on my list early anyway because of the
So
discount that
underpriced.
he'll be. Yeah, so
He's heavily discounted, and he's got like 20s and 30s sitting next to his name.
Yeah. So he's an option. We'll be talking about him in depth. Other players, Adam Treloar, that's massive.
That's huge.
He's basically, his career has been 100 plus and big hundreds as well, pretty much for the last, 7 or 8 years.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. So
Picks himself.
He's got an 87 next to his name
See?
as his average this year.
Do we load up in the forward line?
I'm feeling like I am, Roy.
Well, we might have to, especially with stuff like some of our rookies. For example, Nick Dacos is mid-only, who we all probably want to pick because I think he'll be there round one. Jason Horn-Francis as well. We'll talk some more rookies next week, but these guys here, you're paying a little bit extra for them.
Yeah.
We don't know these prices yet. We'll probably have some revelations on that next week.
Did you say no?
No, I don't actually.
Did
I
you say
don't.
next week?
Next
We're
week?
back again.
Yes, Cow, we are. We're
Okay,
back.
and your challenge
You're
is
back.
to do something else, like another makeover thing. It can be anything you like.
All right, I'll work on it. See what I can get done.
You'll have an Instagram account soon, I reckon.
Called
Cow.
what?
You'll be an influencer. You'll be getting...
Before and after. Cow.
Move on. I can't believe this.
You can't stop smiling either, can you?
I know.
What do you mean?
Guy Smiley, we'll call him.
Right.
God.
I think I've probably said a lot of the guys. Another one there that I didn't mention was Jed Anderson. Now, you remember he averaged about a ton a couple of years ago, and it's a very good point per minute player.
He is, yes.
He's one to consider now that he is a mid-forward.
That's tempting
Big time.
because, like you said, his
He's
points
cheaper
per
too.
minute and his avenue to points is very attractive.
He tackles.
He does.
Mega
That's
tackle.
good. We'll be talking plenty of positions as we do our team reveals.
Yeah.
They'll be coming out, all the price previews and all that sort of stuff. I think we'll be starting that after Christmas. I have divvied up the teams as well for this gentleman.
Oh, he's smirking.
Oh, why?
Okay. How I do them, I find out it's a reverse ladder order. That's how we've done it in the past.
Right.
Oh,
We've always done it, and we're still doing it this way.
Who copped it
You
the
have
worst?
to be Carlton.
Yes.
You have to be Adelaide.
I don't even like Adelaide.
I have to be the Bombers. Now, Calvinator.
Cal's a member at the
Here we
Bombers.
go.
Calvin is a
Oh,
member
we'll
of the
talk
Bombers.
about that later, dog. Talk about a stitch up with the old membership.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy about that. That made me laugh a lot. Poor old
Did you hear what
Cal.
happened?
Yes.
So I bought a $29 membership just so I can get to the games here in Tassie.
Yeah.
They rolled it over $110 membership.
Didn't you get a bargain?
Can't do that.
Oh, that's hard.
That's good. No, so,
Right, so who have I got?
basically, it all worked out perfectly that our teams were so that we could go 1, 2, 3, like Cal, then Warney, then Roy. That is actually the order of it.
Then
that's
why are
where
you
our
so
team's
happy
at.
about it?
Here we go.
Because we start off with the bottom of the ladder team,
And is that mine?
Calvin, North Melbourne.
Good. You're good at that. You
Yeah.
do them
Look,
every year.
I've done them enough.
You've got an intimate relationship
Yep.
with North now.
I've got Collingwood. Oh, good fantasy team. Roy's got Gold Coast. There's our start.
That's okay.
Okay, so
Hugh Greenwood?
Yeah, well,
yeah,
mine.
okay.
no, it's all right. And as Georgie comes home from daycare and says, "You get what you get, and you don't get upset." So I love
That's
take that
cool.
into
All right,
this.
so I've got
So,
North
hang
Melbourne.
on.
Yep.
Gold Coast and Collingwood.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really lopsided at the moment.
Yeah, to
It
you,
is.
right?
That's all right. Oh, I won't let you know the rest. You can find those.
Tell me
out
the
as they
next
come.
one.
The next one, Crows, because that's
God.
the team that you go
Suck
for.
it. Yeah.
Jeez.
I've got the Hawks, and Roy's got Carlton.
Yeah.
'cause that's the team he goes
yeah,
for.
Fine.
Okay.
You've got the
We're on
Tigers, the very fantasy relevant
Oh,
Tigers.
God.
Yeah, you'll struggle.
I've got Fremantle, who did get very relevant over the
They did.
trade and draft
They did.
period.
You'll do
and
that.
you've got St Kilda.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
Cow's got West Coast.
I feel like,
Gaffy.
oh, God. I'm not doing that again, Roy.
Oh, anyway, we'll be getting into
Nah,
those
it sounded
later. We've got
all right.
a heap of content coming this off-season.
We do.
And, well...
It's time to switch on, too. Like,
Well, I am.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you
Your
switch on?
teeth are on.
This is how switched on you are, Roy. We've given you a task.
Oh, I know.
And you're up for it.
this is unreal. I cannot believe we are rolling
Oh, I had to
early
get paid
December.
a lot to do this.
I bet you did.
Can you imagine the criticism?
No.
What do you have to base this on? It's a stab in the dark. What do you think it is when I've got stats?
Yeah.
It still ends up being a bloody... Anyway, I think I've nailed it, personally.
Do you?
Of course you have.
Considering, there's a lack of information out there.
Okay.
So I'm just going with my knowledge, and you can't really go wrong with that.
All right. Give it to us. Defenders.
Defenders.
Your top 6 defenders for 2022.
Aaron Hall, number 1. You'll
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
You'll question it.
Yeah, no, he's probably up there.
I do love it.
He averaged 120, didn't he, in the...
From round 7, I reckon I'm going to say that stat a few times.
I reckon.
Especially in that North Melbourne article.
Look, there's some good names here.
Can you put him under every category?
Yes.
Good names here. I think I've only thrown in one controversial.
Okay, go.
Aaron Hall, Lockie Whitfield, Jake Lloyd.
Tick, tick, tick.
Yep.
Love it.
Tom Stewart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Crispy. Jack
yeah.
Crisp.
Yes.
Tom Stewart.
Yep.
That last spot, there's a lot in the mix. You got your Riches, Salem, Short, Zeeble,
Yep.
Caleb Daniel.
He
I've gone a
scored 20.
dude.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
exactly. I've gone a dude that could pump out 158, and he's going to a new club. You might even write about him in your club preview.
Definitely will.
Jordan Dawson.
Jordan Dawson.
Yeah,
I like it.
I've just
I
chucked
like
him
it.
in there.
100% in the
And
mix.
held his
To
defender
be-
status.
to-
Obviously, that's why he's
Yeah.
in this list, which
Yeah.
almost was a not surprised, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he was mid only because of
100%.
the mid that he played.
So where do you think he'll play for Adelaide? I've
Well,
heard wing,
I heard
flagged.
back, maybe.
But that wing is where he seems to just love racking up +6s out on the wing.
I had a crow last year that played on the wing. Shoal.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
Allegedly
Ben
played.
Seedsman had a massive year, remember, too. So he had a big year, 100 year.
Thing is with Dawson, so he's gone 83, 83, and then last year, 89. You're not really paying up for a massive gun either.
What do you think he can average?
158 he had too.
He's definitely in the 90s, 100% in the 90s. It's whether or not he can push the hundreds. 95 to 100, I'll have him.
Yeah, which is big.
Sixth defender off the board then.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
ability to go 158 destroy.
All right, people are happy with it. I can't even feel much criticism coming my way for the back line.
Right.
Feel free
Into
to
the
send any
midfield.
criticism to
Oh, yeah, no,
Roy
he's-
DT on Twitter.
Yeah.
He takes it well.
I
as
do.
well.
I started well. I took it well yesterday.
You start grumpy. Why have you started grumpy?
Oh, one guy thought he called me out too today, right? So
we go,
I was
here we
sitting at a kid's birthday party. I was like, what am I going to do here? Okay. I knew I had to get home and do the Roland 22
Yeah.
and some draft ranking,
Okay.
positional. So everyone saw through my little fib. I was like, I've done my rankings.
Yep.
What are yours? So that like people would send them to me. I could make sure I hadn't missed anyone.
Yeah,
and
it's always a good way to do it.
Some super coach person called me out and goes, I think you've just done that so that you can change your position, your rankings based on what other people have said.
Oh, wow.
I was like, no, idiot. I haven't done any yet. I was using it that was my
To use that from
research.
scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's someone else's
Yeah,
list.
exactly. But
Let's
anyway.
start.
It's unlike an idiot from Supercoach to contact us.
I couldn't believe it. Copping criticism.
Yeah,
from Supercoach
unbelievable.
level. All right, in the midfield,
Here we
Took
go.
Miller, Jack Steele, Tom Mitchell, Jack McRae, Jared Lyons, Sam Walsh, Zach Merritt, Oliver Wines.
Ooh.
Now, the apologies there. And
There's gonna be a lot.
There is, because...
No, it's interesting. The list, throw a blanket. We use that term a little
100%
bit. That's what
we
it's
do.
like with those top guys.
Yeah. Now, there's big names missing out here. Petrarca, he showed that he's not just a forward flank inconsistent scorer these days. Clayton Oliver.
What?
He should be top 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't know who he bumps. Certainly not Sam Walsh.
Tell you what, come draft day,
You couldn't, if you were getting him at 9 or 10 in the mid,
oh my goodness.
you're probably going to win your...
Yeah.
And then, there's other people down there, but people like Neil don't deserve it. No.
But you can only have 8.
Darcy
boy.
Parrish certainly doesn't.
No,
He's
he-
not even an apology.
No, definitely
All right.
do not apologise.
On to the rucks. That's interesting. Ruck department is interesting. And I did get a lot of feedback from people that weren't attacking. They were sharing their thoughts.
Okay, great.
With
That
the
you
relevant
stole.
content.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Max, there is obvious concern
Yeah, of
with
course.
Max.
Yep.
There's multiple reasons. Obviously, the shared ruck time. But when he's sharing ruck, he's obviously going forward, isn't he? Oh, but can he go forward? Remember what he did
Yes,
in
he
the
does.
finals?
Yes, he does go forward.
Unbelievably
Yes,
well.
very well.
So you can't help but feel he's going to spend
Yeah.
more time there. Could he end up with DPP though?
Warren? There's no way Warney would
Look,
tick
that's
that
probably
off.
a far stretch. But anyway, I'm sticking with Max despite all the worries. And because obviously Luke Jackson, he turned that grand
He's
final.
so good.
In that end of that third quarter.
When he went in
Yep.
there.
He's the one that flicked that switch in the ruck. So he's going to be in there more than he was last year.
Yep.
But then I just think about the way Max can kick goals and score quickly around the ground. Sticking with the big pig, Grundy, number 2.
Yeah.
Look, I know,
You have to.
I know you paused and you thought
I know.
about it then, but then go and look at his numbers. He's still average.
He averaged
well.
106.
Yeah.
It's a long way down from his 122.
It is.
Who's-
But
then
if it's
who-
not him, who is it?
Yeah, who's
Well,
next
then
on the
it's
list?
Sean Darcy. He's the up and comer.
He is.
But you can't. bump
trust his
one of the
body
big
as well.
two. No, you can't.
Riley O'Brien bounce back?
Oh, God. Into the
Okay.
top 2. I'd be going... Rowan Marshall's another one.
Yes.
But maybe when Ryder's gone...
If you know,
Marshall,
if Ryder left
Yes.
this year, like if he got injured,
Yes.
you'd be
He could be
could
huge.
be a top 2.
Now,
ruck.
Rowan Marshall, he's not going to have forward status.
No, well, he doesn't.
No, he hasn't got forward status. So
okay.
that's a thing. It might come later. Who knows? We'll have to see what they're
Yeah,
doing.
well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that he didn't have forward status still.
same.
But
Same.
it's what
Didn't
the
you
numbers
get that
came
one
out.
through?
Nah, I tried.
Good. Good by you. You're for the people, dog.
Right, okay, let's get in this forward line, Roy. Top 6
yourself.
forwards.
Not yourself at all.
Considering this, you couldn't just look at your list of averages last
I
year and
know.
just pick someone. You have to do a bit of
Hence my
work.
tweet. Anyway, forward, I have gone Tim Taranto at
Wow.
number 1.
Just
It's
backing him
Timmy
in
Taranto.
to be a
We
midfielder.
were
Yeah.
bragging about him early in the year
Yep.
as one of our best picks as a mid.
I agree.
And now he's available
Yep.
forward. I'm paying up for that.
yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. Anyway, Dunkley's number 2. Prior to Dunkley's injury, he was like the form fantasy player of the competition.
Yeah.
So he could easily be justifiable number 1
100%.
if he's back 100% fit and in the middle. That leaves Mitch Duncan at number 3. This line is looking really strong.
It's nasty,
at the moment,
it's
very
isn't
good.
it? So there's 3 unbelievably good players. Then I've got Degoe at number 4.
Okay,
What?
asterisk. You've got to, wherever we are.
What did you call it?
Asterisk.
I didn't say he wasn't a risk dog.
What did
He's
you-
definitely a risk.
Asterisk. Say it again.
You couldn't say. You can't say it anyway.
No, I can't say it.
asterisk.
I think he said he's at a risk.
ASTERI.
Degoe at a
SK.
risk, he said.
He's added extra letters in
You
there.
put an X in there. There's no X in asterisk.
Say it again.
So he's at a risk.
Asterisk.
You're picking him at a risk.
At a risk. Yes, he is.
Right. For obvious reasons.
At a risk.
I don't even know if he's on a list asterisk at the moment. But he's number 4. Now,
Okay.
the way he was scoring, it was like those top 3.
I'm going to get
anyway.
you a bloody dictionary for Christmas. this
Mate,
year.
I need more than a dictionary. I understand exactly where you're going with it.
Like,
He
how
was
could I
unbelievable.
not? How could I not?
I know.
Have him in there,
Yeah.
The fact that
and he should be back in the midfield again if he's playing.
is he back in the team
So who's
again?
next
I
on
don't
your
know.
list?
Trelaw.
So you got to have Trelaw.
Do you though?
Don't you?
Do you remember watching Trelaw run around?
Yeah.
That was my only concern.
But he was at a new
First
club.
year at the club.
Yes,
He had a wicked patch.
he did.
I think from it was probably while Dunkley was it Dunkley injured at that time?
Oh yeah, probably.
A massive patch, like hundreds
Yes,
each week.
yeah.
For about 7 weeks or whatever it was.
This guy's gone 114 before.
Okay.
Oh, he hasn't. He's basically been 110 average for the last
Yep.
7 or 8 years.
Well, that's what Degoe was the second half of the year, though.
Agree.
While
Yep.
Trelaw was up and down and role was changing, and
Yep.
So yeah, but I definitely take that on board. If you say Degoe, Trelaw,
I know.
you go on Trelaw.
Our
every
conversation
time,
about De Goey might be over in a week or so.
it may be,
But-
that's why he's at a risk of losing his spot in that 4.
All right, after Trelaw then. Who's number 6 we're up to?
Slim Dusty.
Yeah. he is. Have you seen the photos
Bloody oath
of
I
him
have.
training the house down?
Hey, no wonder we're the top 10 podcast in the nation,
Oh,
boys.
yeah,
That is
that's
gold.
right.
Oh,
Did you know that?
Top 10.
Top 10. Thanks,
Top 10.
everyone.
Has anyone
voted.
used
Thank
it as
you
a
very
headline?
much for
Surely
everyone
that's a
voted.
gimme.
Slim Dusty.
Yeah, have they used it?
I don't think anyone's used it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Don't know.
Heard it first here. But bloody oath, more midfield time.
Hashtag.
That lean. You seen him?
He's slim.
Limited risks or limited risk.
No asterisks.
No, he's not at
not
a
on a risk
He's-
at all.
So the thing is with him as well. So obviously he had that injury. That's part of the cause of the weight loss and etc.
Yep.
But he hasn't been able to go over Vegas and
Yep.
hit the cans and whatever. He's just had one thing to focus on: recovery footy. And it sounds like he's in wanting to dominate mode again.
So he's priced at 81.
Yeah.
Which is the lowest he's been since 2010 in his debut season.
See, and like,
Who's writing about Richmond? Yes, me. Wicked. I
See,
get to talk about
so
that.
At
that's
least you got
gonna
one
be-
category covered.
Yep.
look, now Dusty, he's a funny one. So he had that really huge year, probably just once though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
114.
he finds a way to have really quiet patches each year,
Yep.
which bring his average down quite a fair way.
Yep.
So it was tough putting him in at number 6 because Wingard finished the year in unbelievable fashion. He was playing midfield.
Yep.
He's got a new coach, so I don't know if that continues, that role, or, so there's a little bit
knows?
of unknown.
They did want to trade him.
Well, there you go as well. Taron Thomas, he finished the year like a
Didn't he ever?
house on fire.
Yep.
Yep.
He could. he
People are going to
nearly-
be angry that Taryn's not in there.
Yeah, and I am a little bit myself
Yeah,
now.
okay, fair
I
enough.
just wanted to use the Slim Dusty joke.
I know.
These are the sort of things that I have to deal with
This is
when
how
picking
we
this.
create content here at Traders HQ.
That leaves big names like Steel Sidebottom out.
What, couldn't get a joke with that?
No,
Fair
we've
enough.
used
Surely
it.
there's a
We've
lot.
used it way too many times. And then, of course, there's Cogs, Butters, Stringer.
Yep.
So there's big names there, but, yeah, the joke took, the cake.
Yeah, fair enough too.
The rolling 22, Troy.
Yeah, and I'm quite happy with it, to be
Looking
honest.
forward to it. Make sure you check out afl.com.au this week as Roy reveals his early draft rankings.
Oh, why would you do them now?
Very early.
Dog Major.
Yep.
True.
Content.
Now here's Warnie with breaking news.
It's me. It's Channel 7's Mitch Cleary. You wonder if we've
Wow.
got permission still to use that.
Oh,
Sorry,
pump it
Mitch.
out while we can.
That's all right. Anyway, bit of news. We know about round 1 now, and so hopefully soon we'll get the rest of the fixture and see what's going on. It looks like it'll be probably the first 7 or 8 rounds or so. We'll get locked in as what that is, but we'll get what the games are. We just won't know the dates and
I
times.
like
and
what
stuff.
we've done there. I like that.
Do you?
The big game.
Right, well, this
Wednesday
is
night.
it. So, round 1, it starts on a Wednesday this year. First time ever, I reckon.
So I
About
don't necessarily
Thursdays.
like the day that it's starting, but I like the matchup.
But I like that we're going the grand final
Yes.
100%.
match, not replay.
No.
People say replay. They're not playing the grand
Trophy's
final again.
been given out.
Yeah. Imagine doing it all.
The
exactly
rematch,
the same. Yeah, it's a rematch.
So 7:10 on the Wednesday. So in our fantasy heads, obviously that's our first of our lockouts there, which is 100 days away from today.
Right,
boys.
okay.
So
A bit of a vice captain option there.
There
Right?
is.
I'll
Pre-season.
get back to you on that one.
But yeah, so that'll be Wednesday night, and then it goes into the Thursday night traditional.
Yeah,
blockbuster.
that's where it's at.
Digital flogging.
That's where it's at.
The Blues and the Tigers there, and then that's a 7:25. Then Friday night, 7:50. Then we sort of get into a weekend as normal, but probably in our fantasy heads to think about there is that no game overlaps across the weekend.
Doesn't it?
So with how that's set up for the round one,
Oh, no.
which probably just means more lockout times because rolling lockout
What do you mean?
here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yep. So
Oh, dear. This
that's
is the first
there.
time I heard this.
Oh, that's not a good squirt,
Have a
dog.
positive reaction. Have a...
So, but that's the thing to think about with that is that we've got those each game. So very much switched on for round one, but you've got a bit of time between games to make sure you're locking your teams in.
Why did you tick that off?
Don't have a Lakes trip for round one next year.
Why did you tick off
I
that?
did not tick that off. I would have loved the Saturday lockout. First game Saturday. That would have been my
Common sense.
preferred option.
So
Bit of a best of both worlds.
No
of
chance to put your feet up. Although, you know me, Roy. She's all done and dusted by
Get it done Friday
No,
night.
that's okay.
Which you can do, and that's the thing. You play it how you like.
can
But
do that.
thing is, I reckon round one you want to be switched on, especially for any rookies
Oh,
that
of
you're
course.
picking and things
Yeah.
like that.
Let the
as we're
trout
going.
swim round one, Cow.
Yeah, I'll let him off.
Catch 'em
let him
next
off the
week.
hook.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit cheesy. Grin. But it's a good one.
That's better.
Thanks. Okay,
work.
come on. Keep talking
Bloody
footy.
guy smiley.
Get on with it. It's not even that white.
It is.
It's pretty white.
Don't come back.
Some little bits of news that we've got. So prices, we'll hear a bit more about that next week. One thing I have heard a little whisper of is that the salary cap will go up.
Oh, good.
Because basically we want to be in line with what the comp was, or what the comp is.
Yeah.
And so from my reading of that, I think it was 14.8 mil.
Right.
Was what the salary cap is for 2022.
What was it last year? 13?
Well, it was a bit over 13, but
Yeah.
we left it straight on 13, I think, just to keep it, because we didn't know. But this is what it sounds like it is now. So that'll be the salary cap, which will mean there'll be some adjustments of players' prices based on that. So what you called a $700,000 player last year will be a bit more because inflation.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Very familiar with
so
the
it'll
term.
still be very, it'll be comparable.
Yeah.
Obviously, how that goes. We'll hear more about that next week. Some of the updates for the game, a few of these ones that I've been told are not huge, but people will probably like them in the sense that this was from the feedback. So you have your team name, so the Warn Dogs, Destroy,
Yeah.
Craptonator, and,
Change my name.
well,
Pearly Whites.
anyway, so that just went across the whole game. So in draft, you're able to change your team name for your different comps. So that's important for some coaches there that are in multiple draft comps and they have that going on.
Yeah.
One of the big wins is that I like a draft comp with 10 teams in it.
Right.
And there wasn't the option for a 5-team finals. That's in now. So 5
good
teams
work,
for the finals.
Mort.
So that one's
Way
there.
to get that one through.
Bit of update to your history stuff, so that's really nice. And then season history, that's going to be updated very nicely as well, so you can see a bit more of a snapshot of your season history. So
Right.
it's going to be nice and easy instead of clicking back through your team each week, seeing your different rankings and things like that. So that's going to be good. And just other little updates, like when you click on the little player and the little pop-up comes up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have much info.
Yes.
There's now going to be a heap of info in there.
Oh,
so you don't have to
okay.
go into their full profile page.
Good.
Actually get a fair bit from that.
Time
The little
saver.
things that we've been told about, and there's a lot more to come as well when the game opens, and then throughout the pre-season, ready for round one, and
Sounds
then in
good.
season there'll be some things there. So I guess they're the main things that we can probably go. There's other bits of news. We might look at some of more of that next week, and we'll see whether Jordan De Goey is still in your top 6 next week and things like that.
I reckon he will. But
Be
there is
interesting.
that asterisk.
Definitely.
Risk.
There's a massive risk about it.
How do you
Cal,
even say it now?
I put you to work.
Oh, look, this is a
We
stitch
normally
up.
do a trade
Have you done
period
stuff?
podcast.
Yeah, it's not good. Switch off now, people. Listen, because Warn Dog goes, oh, look, I want you to do the top 10 most relevant...
I want you to do something.
The top 10 most relevant...
beauty bloody treatments in this off-season.
He goes, Cal, I want you to do the top 10 most relevant trades of the trade period.
Because we do normally do a podcast. It normally goes for an hour because the trade period's so great.
Yeah. Give me 5 minutes, dog, and I'll sum this up.
Okay.
Right.
Coming in at number 10.
Of the most relevant.
Of the most relevant over the trade period. So this is a bad start. Nathan Kruger.
He made your top 10?
Yes.
Oh, I've got to see who
this is good. No, okay. You know why he's in my top 10? So he'll be about 250k.
Right.
And if Warnie is right this year, we won't have any rookies. We'll starve the rookies. If he goes down that path,
he will.
Right, then we may need to grab him, but we won't. Right.
Defender status for him.
Okay. Tim O'Brien.
Right.
Okay, hear me out a little bit.
Come on.
No, hang on. He's going to be
more relevant. I listened to a lot of hours of trade radio. It was more entertaining than this.
Look, dog, you've given him a job. Let him.
No.
You've got to hear him out.
Right.
Surely.
He's priced in the 400s.
Yeah.
As a defender for Hawthorn, he averaged 75 in his last 5, 84 in his last 3, and he's priced at 58. Just saying. Moving on. Right.
You're not picking Timo.
No, but this is how bad the list is. Sam Petreski-Seaton.
Oh,
right?
Surely there were better.
No.
Couldn't you have
priced at 61?
Counted dog and said, "How about a top 5?"
Oh, I'm going to get there. Priced at 61. You wouldn't do it, but a couple of years ago he did have 78.
Cool.
George Hewitt, Roy.
Good story.
George Hewitt.
Yeah, now he should have been. You're going to finish on fire.
Now they're coming home strong. This is numbers.
You should have just said, can I do a top 7 or like a call?
Okay.
Cows Magic
Huey,
7 or something.
can I just flag something?
Yeah, please do.
It's better than Zach Williams.
Well, I was going to say, is this...
I need to get our bloody music back out again for this year.
Is this Zach Williams 2.0? Are you...
Defender status.
Priced at 64?
And he's playing in the middle.
He could. So after his buy, he averaged 75.
Sure did.
Okay, so priced at 64.
See his last 3 rounds?
Yeah.
Got a bit of midfield time?
So 80
Will he get any midfield time?
I think so. I think that's why he's there, isn't it?
Well, unless he's got to be there as a bit of a tag. He does do a couple of jobs every now and then.
Yeah, 13 tackles that last round.
We'll get into some good ones now. Number 6.
13 tackles, because that's sustainable.
Luke Dunstan.
Oh,
right, Luke Dunstan. And I'm talking draft here because there's no way you'd pick him in Classic.
Dunstan ahead of Hewitt.
No, so Dunstan's number 6 for draft reasons.
Is he in their best 22?
Yes, he has to be in their best 22.
Is he DPP like Hewitt, is he?
No. I didn't have positions.
Oh, sorry.
Dog doesn't let them out. Did you get positions?
Hey,
I forwarded you.
Dog wouldn't. Did you?
I think so. Might have missed that email.
Okay,
like that
sorry,
Bombers
that's
membership
unfair.
email you missed as well.
We'll leave him.
Dunstan, no, you're right. He deserved a bit of chit.
At least for a traded player, and the fact that he's gone to
the
Demons.
A guy that averaged in the 90s.
And he was good. All right.
From his 2 games.
Okay.
This top 5. Okay.
Does he need an injury to get a game? Or is
he
actually
gets a game.
Yeah, okay.
Surely he's ahead of James Jordan.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
He's got to be.
That's an improvement in that spot.
And the fact that they're such a fantasy relevant, friendly team, surely he can get around that 100 mark, I reckon.
Wow. Can't have too many players averaging 100.
Why not?
Petrarca, Oliver.
Well,
and Dunstan.
They haven't got anyone in the midfield in the rolling 22.
Right. Number 5, Lipinski.
Right.
Okay, now we're starting to talk about some real
100%
relevant people.
I liked him a bit more before I saw the positions.
Where is he?
Mid only.
Oh, that
Thought he
hurts.
might have had the forward status.
Would that bump him?
I think it will. I'll get him out of the top 5 at least. Yeah. Maybe down to Kruger's spot in 10. He's priced awkwardly at 550-ish. So I don't know if you can do that. But So he had a good year, though, where he averaged 85.
How are you saying these prices? They haven't even been made yet.
I'm guessing them. Guessing them off your article that you wrote.
With your
roughly
new salary cap.
Give and take a bit. I bump it up a little bit more, but
Cow's magic number
priced at what is he priced at? He like 70 something, 70 odd.
If he doesn't have forward, he's priced himself out of it, right?
Right. Number 4, Chera.
Yeah, nice.
Now this is the reason.
A good segment.
Hang on, no. This is why I'm talking about Chera. Right. So listen to his averages here. So he's gone 61, 83, 87.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm like. He hasn't broken out yet as such.
Oh, so that 87 is not a breakout because he did 83, I guess.
Yeah, but listen to Josh Kelly's numbers.
Oh, you're doing a comparison.
Yes, 68.
This is big.
This is good
73,
research.
90, and then in his 4th year he goes 113.
Bang.
Now I'm not saying that Chera is going to go 113. But
107's not out of the question.
someone else did that. So
but he could go. He could He could go from 87 to 100. Agree? He'd go 87 to 100. He averaged 112 in his last 4
at Carlton.
That's the kicker. Sorry, that's
so. Does that make Sam Walsh drop a few points because he was 110, wasn't he?
Top 8.
He's top 8 Walsh, though, isn't he? Okay.
What were you talking top 8 for?
Carlton Makins.
All right. Now we're into some serious names.
Right.
We're at the top of the list.
Chera is serious.
Yeah.
He was the biggest name in the off-season.
Yep. Jordan Clark. Could you do it again?
Mid-only cow.
Oh, what?
Gross.
You should have given me the list. Right, we'll move on from him. All right, we're not going to touch that. Price
Could he
tag.
pick up defender status? Because he could play off that halfback.
He most likely will. Price at 56.
Yep.
That's disgusting. Right, and then number 2, your boy, Jordan Dawson. He goes 100 this year.
He's a chance.
So after his bye, he went at 100, boosted by that 158 in your Norm Smith medal game. 158.
Can't take that out, though.
No way. You're leaving that in.
You definitely leave that. And now the number 1 person, which I'm sorry everyone that has taken this long to get to, Will Brodie. This guy is...
Yeah. He's legit.
Legit relevant.
Yeah.
So he gets discounted. He's got to be around about, we're guessing here, 370, 380, we'll say. What position's he, dog?
No, he's got the forward status, Cow.
See, there you go. Low risk with guys. Former number 1 pick, priced at an average of 46.
Former number 1 pick?
Number 9, sorry. I was close.
Just off.
Your research. This is as good in December as what it is in June.
But priced at, in his best... In his best year, he averaged
First
88.
round, is that what you meant?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I wrote. But priced at 46. As a forward, low risk, good pick, better team. He could be an 80-plus guy.
I was listening to AFL Daily this morning, actually, with Schmooky, and he has his eyes over in the West.
Yep.
Yes.
Said he's training the
House down. See,
Wow.
So that's good. So he's definitely one to watch, and he'll be at a decent price
and if
for us.
Schmooky's listening, hit me up, mate. I'll give you some tips on the Freo
He
players.
was obviously a highly touted junior to go at number 1.
Number 1. Round 1. Round 1, number 9. That's
Amazing.
it, dog.
That is it.
Yeah.
Hey, well done, Calvin.
But you know what? Maybe that's not a reflection on me. Maybe that's a reflection of the draft period.
Well,
Yeah,
it was.
a
With
bit of
trade
both.
period.
Sorry.
Trade period. We didn't
Let's
actually
call it a bit of both.
do a podcast at the time because we thought, ooh, this could be as good a listen as trade radio.
As good as listen as what?
I still listen to a lot of trade radio over that time. But, just not much happened.
So out of that list,
Right.
that comprehensive list of 10 that I just gave you,
You've crossed off about 8 of them because of their positions.
who is relevant there? It's only Will Brodie, isn't
Brodie
it?
is. Jordan Dawson is. And you got to be thinking your draft as well. Like
Yes.
Jordan Dawson's there, definitely a top 10 defender,
Yep.
if not better.
And draft, like Chera, he could be a bargain. Like he's going to slide.
Yeah.
And I know, talking with my Carlton hat on, yada, yada, yada. But that breakout you're talking about, that could be 13 points.
Yeah,
He whacks
so
on that.
that's got a 17 in it.
That gets him to 100.
If you take the 17 out, and you're allowed to do this,
Yes.
he would have averaged 92.
There you go. It's getting there.
Okay.
He's already nearly up there.
It is very significant.
When we do our club previews as well, I guess we'll talk about those ins and outs from trade and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
with what that might mean for other players. So what does Chera mean for Walsh? Like, where do those points flick around and what does teams' midfields makeup look like because of some of these inclusions? It's going to be interesting to see. Do you
I
think?
look forward to Cal pulling it apart.
Oh, mate, I'll pick it apart. Don't worry about that.
I'd like to see how you go with this list, Cow, of your teams across this.
So the North Melbourne one, I've been thinking about it. It's not bad.
It's not.
I've got Hugh and I've got Aaron Hall.
And Horn Francis.
Oh, yeah. That
Thomas.
bloke. Taryn. Actually, that's a good one to do.
It's good.
I'm right with that.
It is good now.
Yep.
Yeah. You're
Mate.
fine.
Yep, that's good.
You still got about 5 other categories to fill, old boy.
Yeah. Aaron Hall and Hugh might get a couple each.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's it. We'll be back next week. Yeah, we're going to talk some draftees, and we've got some great numbers there, so look out for that, especially for keeper league coaches who might be looking at their draft for this year. We'll have some more info on how our keeper leagues settings and stuff like that will work as well. So, how many players you can keep and, how you do that. And you can be making those, I guess, decisions now.
Yeah.
And hopefully you made them before you drafted, like we did. We've got our squads of 20. Oh, did we go 30? No, we went 30 in the end for our league, and so we're keeping 14. So And one of the things
That'd be easy for me.
we had an interesting thing in ours because we decided in our group that we wouldn't have our free agents on, so we weren't allowed to pick anyone off. And Cal, you finished on the bottom of the ladder, so therefore
Deliberately
you get pick one, and Aaron Hall undrafted, so potentially D1 in our draft for that because we didn't have our free agents.
That'll turn your season around.
Whatever.
Nice.
Wow. Amazing. So we'll be talking a bit of that stuff. We've got a fair bit to go. But once again, too, we did mention it before, we finished in the top 10 for the Listener's Choice of the Australian Podcast Awards. After we were nominated, finished, somewhere in the top 6. It must have been 4th because they awarded a gold, silver and bronze.
100% 4th.
Maybe we got the 4th place for that for the sports podcast.
Yeah.
But, Roy, you can spin a stat any way you want.
So,
what have you got for me?
Okay, podcast. Who do you want to please in a podcast?
Listeners.
The listeners.
Yep. Not the judges.
We were the only sports podcast in the top 10 podcasts overall.
What does that mean, Roy? What does it mean?
We are the number 1 sport podcast in Australia. That's what that means.
What do the judges know?
I don't know. They probably hate footy for all we
Yeah, they
know.
would.
And us.
Yeah.
Fair call.
You probably mouthed them off on Twitter.
No, but seriously, that's what we are. So I did spin that dog, but
And it
that works for me.
Yeah, that's great.
Facts are facts.
That in your Twitter bio, Roy.
I have already.
Oh, yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah, at least on something I put it in.
I don't think I've updated mine in years. I'll have a look at it.
No, I think I've done it.
Be interested. I want to see. You probably got some sponsored content these days on yours with your
Here we
pearly
go.
whites and
See this?
the influencer.
Look, this is not going to be a year where it's just like hang shit on Cal every podcast.
Colgate
Like
Calvin.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Click the following little notification button as well, and you'll get all of our podcasts as soon as they drop because we've got a fair bit coming. It's a big year ahead. We are very pumped already. 100 days to go until that first lockout. We'll be with you every step of the way. Nice to see you, boys.
Yeah.
Gives a smile, Cal.
Get stuff. Idiot.